Hello, folks. The Celtic Nerd here once again with SkullDuggeryTV.
And hello to all of you.
So, we are back again for some side chat. We are continuing our discussion series with Alien 3. Now,
Yes.
after the situation that was Aliens...
5 fucking hours.
Yeah, we discussed it and have settled on some rules.
Yeah.
So no longer will we attempt to discuss an entire topic in just one video. Now, if it happens in just one video, that is fine. That is fantastic.
Yeah. Well,
But we are going to put like a hard cap limit on the videos, about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Because like if we're talking more than 2.5 hours for a movie, then like okay, holy fucking shit. I feel like it's most going to impact us when we are talking shit about. Oh, I forgot to press play on my footage here. Sorry, folks.
Oh, that's actually a good call. Yeah.
There we go. So as but yeah, so it should limit us, or at least limit the hate that we will have when we get to Star Wars, as well as some of the more questionable entries to the Alien franchise.
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm kind of already there with this movie.
Fair enough.
Because I have notes. Like I took notes after watching the film because I wanted to be prepared this time.
Fair enough. Funny enough,
literally, I have it right here. Like I was like, okay, I want to give this movie a chance. I haven't watched it in a while. I want to give it a chance. I literally have a note here. Literally, like it's let's see how many paragraphs. It's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 paragraphs. The moment my opinion of the movie soured before it even starts.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
no.
Like it's not even. We're not even past the opening credits. Like that's how early.
I feel so bad because I didn't do anything like that. I see when it comes to just our side chats, similar to like all the reviews I've done in the past. I just wing it.
No,
I watched it. Like I watched the thing the day before, and then I watch it again the day of, and now I just go into it. I just start talking. But look at you here being a bit more professional. You come in with notes.
Well, I have to this time. But I thought as well because because as we were talking about, we want to try and keep it to a limit, so I took the notes to help us kind of keep on track of where we are in the film, but also it won't interfere with when we veer off into side discussions either, because it will veer off. I know that, but this will just be so it'll help me to remember where we were in terms of like the continuity. But also because I have, oh dear God, like oh my God, the movie. Literally, the movie. I wasn't even 2 minutes into the movie, and I already had what the fuck is this?
Okay, all right. So, sorry. Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun.
Sorry, I just find it baffling that you have 5 paragraphs just from the opening credits.
Well, I say paragraphs. There's like it's like short lines. Like there's like 1 or 2 sentences.
Okay.
In that's
all right.
One of them is literally just David Fincher directed. That's it.
Okay. So, let's get on. Okay. So we're in the opening credits.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We should point out that unlike Alien and Aliens, this time we aren't doing the extended cut. We couldn't find it, so we both did the theatrical release. It's very important to note that the extended edition of the film is not called the director's cut, it's called the assembly cut.
Interesting.
Yes, and we'll be getting into that the more we go into this, because famously, David Fincher hates this movie. He absolutely...
David Fincher, who's that?
He's the director of the film.
That's a bad sign. That's a very bad sign.
Because, first of all, this was his very first film. He had directed a few advertisements and music videos before this. And so they brought him on to be like the new director, which, because he was very young at the time, a lot of the crew... I don't think the cast had any issues with it, because a lot of them were very supportive, but a lot of the crew, again, similar to James Cameron with Aliens, a lot of the crew kind of felt, I don't want to take orders from this younger person, like, what the fuck? But it also didn't help that... We will get into it, but... basically, this movie, from what I've researched, it was held back by a lot of like studio interference, red tape. It's to the point where the script was actively being changed as they were filming, which David Fincher fucking hated. The idea, again, I'll get into more of the ideas as we go on, but we'll just get right into it with the opening, because I will say, I love how this film opens.
Yeah,
I will say
the music was pretty good. Again, it set the tone, and I love how throughout the opening credits we get glimpses. I will say, okay, I know we praised. Okay, in the past we have praised Sigourney Weaver. Yes. And her performance in this. Now, again, I'm not going to say anything about her performance in this. Her performance was quite good. It was actually exceptional.
Oh, absolutely.
I will say it did rub me the wrong way when, after 20th Century Fox comes up, a Brandywine production, like your typical stuff, it then comes up in big fucking bold letters. Sigourney Weaver. I butchered her first name for some reason there.
Oh, that's fine.
But like the fucking scope of her name. I
didn't notice the size of it. I thought it was
like,
just really.
Yeah, like dude, take a look at it. It doesn't even say as Ripley. It just says Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, I thought you meant like when it means she's co-producing it. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, she is the star, the star of the film.
Yeah,
so
but here's this. It says a 20th Century Fox presents a Brandywine production.
Sigourney Weaver.
In such big fucking letters.
And then Alien cubed.
Alien Tree. I'm like, the fuck? Her name is bigger than the fucking movie title card.
Well, I mean, again, it kind of makes sense, especially depending on the actors that you get. Like, a good example, Batman and Robin, the Joel Schumacher movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger gets top billing. Like, he is the first name that comes up in the opening titles, despite the fact he's the villain. He's not Batman. George Clooney is Batman. So it's that kind of, it's always that kind of thing of whoever is the bigger name, they will always kind of get the top.
Yeah, fair enough when you're comparing actors' names, but we're talking about the title of the movie.
Fair enough.
Like, oh my god, no, she should not, her name should not be bigger than the fucking movie she's starring in.
Unless, of course, we downloaded the wrong movie and we were watching Sigourney Weaver starring Alien 3. That was a terrible joke, I'm sorry.
But yeah, but anyway, and then like also all the following actors who then follow are smaller titles as well.
Like, which funny as well, because a lot of them are big names. Like you've got Charles Dance, Paul McGann, fucking god. I will say the fucking what's his name? He plays Dylan in the film. I'm gonna get the cast up back. Again, I should have been prepared. I should have got the cast up. See, I'm not all professional. But I will say, going into just Pete Postlethwaite. I forgot. He is in this. Fucking great actor as well. Sadly, he died. Anyway, when it comes to the opening titles, like, I do kind of love how the 20th Century Fox fanfare goes in, because it just transitions right into the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, no, it does.
Which I love. I remember when I watched the film for the first time, that immediately hooked me. When I watched it, I was like, oh, this is cool. I want them to do this more often. This is really cool. Which Alien Romulus actually did. It was a nice little callback.
Yeah, they did it for a couple of movies where they attempted to stylize, the whole 20, the thing with the searchlights.
Yeah.
They did it a couple of times where they tried to stylize that to the movie. They did for X-Men, I believe.
Yeah. Towards the later movies, it was they was kind of transitioning to the dun diddle dun, which I did love. I always loved when they did that. I thought it was nice. But it's a small thing, but when films do that, I do appreciate.
Yeah, it helps you get in, like okay, yeah, these are the people that basically footed the bill for the movie, but like it gets you in the mood for whatever the movie is. It's like because if it was just the
traditional
the drum roll,
yeah,
then you'd be like, okay, it's 20th Century Fox.
It's 20th Fox, but now we're getting what? What's this? The music is sounding very, very creepy. What's going on?
Yeah, or if they did it with again with the X-Men, it's like, ooh, we're getting like very comic booky, like it sets the tone for what you're just about to watch, and it's great, and the fact that they try and lean into it. But yeah, so as I was saying before I got off track about the whole big top billing, is I like the glimpses of like what's going on, because like I you might remember I mentioned it at the end when we were doing the aliens. I cannot remember why the fuck she crash landed onto the prison world.
Yeah.
And now I will say it is a bit of a stupid reason.
Yes, I'm glad we agree on that, because immediate thing.
Go on.
My notes again. It's just what's it? Sulaco ejection sequence makes no fucking sense.
Like the idea that the existence of such a thing makes sense. Like, in all fairness.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, in the event that like it's like a point of no return, but with this, it's kind of like, okay, there's a fire in the cryo chamber. Wake them up so they can put it out.
Shit, yeah. Yep.
Like, I can understand, like, if it's like, oh, the reactor is about to explode while they're in cryo, eject them. Fine, that is fine.
But an electrical fire is something that is very stoppable.
Like, in the future, they just gave up on electrical fires. Fuck it, I guess we have to sell the house.
Like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, I did not, it did not occur to me, like, oh my fucking god. And that's not even the first issue.
Oh god.
Because also, it's not like it would cause an issue then for the rest of the ship, because, like, even fucking submarines have actually no, even like sailing ships have compartmentalization, where like, I mean, actually we saw it a bit in Alien, like the ships are partially segmented.
Yeah.
So
you had the main Nostromo ship, you got the thing they were tugging, and then you've got the Narcissus, the escape shuttle.
Yeah, but all of them, okay, with the exception of the escape shuttle, for the most part, like all the ships, like always, like every corridor had a door, and obviously the intent was, like, the logic behind it is, like, if there's a breach or a fire, it's, blocked off from spreading from to the rest of the fucking ship.
Yeah.
So yeah, and a military ship would certainly have that type of stuff.
Oh my god!
And also, you're telling me that in the future, a ship that is mostly run on electrical engineering does not have like specialized extinguishers to prevent an electrical fire.
They must have gone over budget.
Because I remember in Metalwork we had different types of fire extinguishers, and one of the first, obviously one of the first lessons we learned is about safety, and we learned about the different types of fires and the types of extinguishers you should use. Now, mind you, we never had the need of it, and we never did anything actually electrical. So the learning of how to put out an electrical fire was, and a chemical fire, was a little, how should I say, pointless.
Yeah,
but I still remember, like, we had there's a water extinguisher for regular fires, but then we had a foam extinguisher for electrical, because you don't want to use a water extinguisher on electrical fire, because then the electricity is just going to run up the current and, you know, fucking shock the person who's trying to put out the fire. So you're telling me we had that for I don't know how fucking long, the knowledge of how to put out an electrical fire, and in a ship that is that is 100% electrical. In deep space, they don't have a fire extinguisher system that's like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
we instead of shooting out water, which then can cause now, mind you, a sprinkler does not have a continuous torrent of water, so it's not like it could shock itself. But the water will then conduct electricity. There's a reason why I'm saying, like, the extinguishers could have easily been set up to release, you know, some kind of
oxygen depriving gas or something like
or
that.
Even it could have sucked up the gas. So that the fire has no oxygen because they're in cryo fucking pods. They don't need oxygen. Or in the happenstance there might be someone in a chamber that has a fire, foam to suffocate the fire.
Exactly.
There are two very reasonable options to put out an electrical fire in that cryo area.
It's like, what happens if they drop a cigarette? Does the ship just explode?
Yeah, is everyone just fucking completely evacuated? And we haven't even gotten to the biggest issue with the opening sequence.
Oh god, we will get there. But there is one very interesting thing I do want to point out, and that is because we did see Sigourney Weaver as the top billing, but we also see her name again as the co-producer of the film.
Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why she came back for this. First of all, she was given a pay increase because, you know, she's Sigourney fucking Weaver.
Yeah.
But which I say that as a good thing, by the way.
Oh yeah. No, don't folks, do not get us wrong. She's absolutely an amazing actress. Like, I'm a fan of her. Like, if I see her in it, like, I'm like, ooh, she's.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, she's gonna do something badass at some point.
Yes, exactly.
Like, even in Avatar, she does something badass towards.
I was saying that, like, yeah. Despite my grievances with that movie, she is not one of them. But anyway, yeah. So her conditions for coming back, and I found this out. Apparently, these were her conditions for coming back for Aliens, which James Cameron rejected all of them. So apparently, she had 3 conditions, which was no guns, Ripley had to die, and apparently she got to have sex with an alien. James Cameron rejected all 3 of them, and then for Alien 3, when she came on as a producer, they agreed to 2 of her conditions, which was no guns and Ripley had to die at the end.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We rewind. You can't just say that and then just move on. Hold the fuck up. One of her conditions. Please tell me you have sources, sir. Like, you have receipts, sir.
Yeah, I do. Yep. Oh,
and these are verified sources.
Apparently, because I was well aware of the no guns and the Ripley dying thing. I was not aware of the third one, and apparently, Alien Resurrection, she kind of got her wish because. We'll get it.
There was that whole the motherly scene. Now, okay.
No, I'm talking about, you know, when she falls into that grate full of all the aliens, and then she gets sucked in.
I can't remember that scene.
Oh, we'll get to it. But hold on. Sigourney Weaver.
Send me over Discord. Send me a link over Discord.
Alien conditions.
Oh my god.
Weaver reiterated her unflexible condition for returning for more Alien movies. The actor who, Sigourney Weaver's return conditions explain. Okay, so,
how was this released? Like who leaked this info?
Apparently she did.
What? When? How?
Hold
on. Who? All I'm missing there is why. Sorry, no. When? All the why, like all the terminologies. When, where, who, and why.
Hold on, Sigourney Weaver, Alien, 3 conditions. Yeah. Weaver would only come back on the condition to kill off Ripley. Okay, so that was for Alien 3. Yeah, because there is... Apparently, hold on. Weaver has 1 condition. Sigourney Weaver's... Shit, yeah, no, because it was right there.
So what you say, sir, is you do not have your sources.
No, I found them. Like, I genuinely found them. Hold on, dude.
Now, see, folks, this is how you can tell, like, we don't script these types of things, because, like, this is the first, like, this is my first time hearing this type of shit.
Because I've found several, there's a YouTuber I watch called Oliver Harper. He does, like, retrospectives for, like, old movies. Really good, I recommend him. But yeah, when he was talking about Alien 3 and Aliens, like, this came up. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, shit. Okay, you will. For fuck's sake. Hold on. Did Sigourney Weaver ask for sex? Oh. Sorry, again, guys, because I want to make sure, because I need to qualify this.
Yeah, you can't just say something like that. Like, and not, like, back it up.
2003 TV special edition commentary between Weaver and Scott. The actor said, "We actually wanted to have more quasi-sex scene. We wanted the alien to come and look at her through the glass and be intrigued by the..." Oh, okay, so that's the first one. Yes, okay, here we are. So Sigourney Weaver had 3 requests for doing aliens. No guns, sex with a Xeno, and she had to die. Cameron denied all of them, but she got her way in the following 2 movies.
So she said. So by the sound of that, she says it during like the special, like the DVD or Blu-ray of what was it?
I don't know which one. I'm not sure which one. It's just I just want to make sure, because I need to make sure this is because I need to make sure that this is true, because this has been going around for years. Like, again, so many sources I've come up with have said that these were the conditions. So it is
the odds of probability is good, but at the same time, it's also the internet.
Yeah. According to James Cameron, Sigourney wanted Ripley to not use any guns. She wanted her to have sex with the xenomorph, and lastly to die. So this is coming from James Cameron.
Yeah, but you have the when and where he said it.
Watching Aliens with the director's crew commentary.
Okay.
So James Cameron gave this in the commentary for Aliens.
Okay.
So there you have it, folks. It is James Cameron did confirm.
Okay. Okay. You lent me that DVD. I am I'm popping that DVD, and I'm confirming this myself, folks. We will do another video. Like, you know, if it turns out he is wrong, if it turns out he is wrong, I will make a video point out that he was wrong. Okay?
But if it turns out I'm right, the video just has to be a minute long of you going, "Oh my god!"
Yes, fair enough. Deal. I accept those terms. But okay. Oh my fucking god.
Apparently, those were her conditions.
Okay.
For Aliens.
Okay.
They were rejected, and then Alien 3. Yeah. For when she was a producer, she got 2 of her wishes: no guns for the cast, for the characters, and Ripley dies in the end.
Okay. Let's move on. Oh my god, that's that. Okay, see now this. He keeps trying to tell me it like these type of factoids, folks. Before we because again we do talk about our stuff beforehand a little bit, and I tell him stop, save it for the video, and this is why.
I'm so glad I'm so glad I did stop before I told you, because that response was just beautiful.
Like, again, all the questions: where, when, why, to who. all of them.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. Oh,
wait, isn't there 5? Where, when, who, why? Oh no, it's only 4. Okay, I'm trying to think, because there's the whole like W hate the WH questions.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
where,
who, what,
when.
when, where, and why.
Yeah, there's only 4. Okay, I always thought there was 5. Okay.
No,
Anyway,
there's 5. Who, what, when, where, why.
so okay, I tried counting them on my hand, but I clearly forgot one. But anyway, moving on. So back to the other troubling scene. So besides from the electrical fire, and whatnot, and so now from what you explained, the reason why we had this troubling scene is because of Sigourney Weaver as the executive producer.
Which troubling scene?
The whole reason why there's an electrical fire.
Oh no! I think the electric fire was just already in the script.
Oh, okay.
Her condition for coming back was Ripley had to die. It didn't.
Yeah, but it was the rewrites you were telling me about.
Oh, she wasn't involved in the rewrites.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the film went through several different rewrites. 2 scripts didn't even have Ripley in them. One of them focused on Hicks going up against the company who were breeding an alien army. And another story focused on a male protagonist who was like on a prison planet or something like that, and then somehow they discover the alien homeworld. Both scripts were kind of put aside because there was no way to make them work. The alien homeworld one in particular was too costly, production-wise, so they couldn't do it.
Yeah, I've seen like xenomorph, like proper xenomorph worlds, like, and they tend to be just fucking like. There's so many of them that like it's just like no.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it can only really work, I think,
with modern technology. I think.
Yeah, you could make it work now, but yeah. So eventually, they came across a lad. Hold on, I have his name written. Vincent Ward is the guy, and he came up with an idea that actually, which was eventually kind of moved into what we have now with Alien 3. So his idea was that the EEV from the Sulaco, which is what Ripley and Liz are on, it crashes on this planet made entirely of wood, and it is run by monks who left Earth to create their own society. So like there would be like a blend of like natural and technology, where like the technology allows the planet to have an atmosphere and function and stuff like that. And then Ripley would crash land. The monks, who are celibate, would like keep her in a cell to keep her away from the rest of the monks, so they wouldn't be tempted. The alien, of course, that came with them goes around, starts killing people. They blame Ripley, thinking, "Oh, she brought the devil with them." And the original ending, because Vincent Ward was told by Sigourney Weaver, "I want to die in the end." Vincent Ward ignored that request and actually wrote an ending where, through some monk ritual, the alien is actually taken out of Ripley and she survives. And so, that was going to be
the whole mystic stuff. Yeah, no, that would have felt really out of place.
Yeah, I kind of agree, and I will say, for all this movie's shortcomings, I don't think the ending is one of them. I actually do like the ending. But yeah, so that was one of the Sigourney Weaver and Fox, they liked most of the ideas that Vincent Ward submitted, so they actually had brought him on to be like the main writer for the thing. They announced the release date of 1992, which
we did get a bit of a hybrid of like what he wanted and what some of the other people came up with.
Yeah, basically, this is where the production hell comes into it, because they announced a 1992 release, which wasn't that far off, and Vincent Ward, he had only gotten like the bare bones of the script ready, so already he had this like insurmountable pressure put onto him, and then from then on, because he thought he would have like creative say over the story, and like he had all these great ideas. Like I did actually like the idea of the monk planet. I thought that was actually kind of a unique twist. But again, Fox kept breathing down his shoulder, like, no, change this, change that. This is too artsy, make it this. And so eventually it did become the prison planet, basically. And then he was fired when he started pushing back, like, no, you're changing too much of my original idea. Like, this isn't really my thing anymore. And yeah, they fired him because how dare you talk back to us, basically. And so that's when they brought in David Fincher, like the new up and coming. And he was excited. Like, David Fincher was a huge fan of the first film, so he was very excited to give his own spin on the franchise. But yeah, like, it was constantly it was development hell for him. Like, I don't.
Yeah, because you said earlier, because it was very similar to what happened in Aliens. New director, the crew was not taking them seriously.
Well, not just that, but this time it wasn't just the crew. Like for David Fincher, the studio was against him. Like again, I think, as far as I know, he's only really ever spoken about the movie one other time in an interview, and I think that was for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He did an American remake with Daniel Craig in it. It's a good movie, actually. I don't mind it. But yeah, basically, just so much. He doesn't see it as his film. It's Fox's film. Like he was just there. Like basic. It got so bad actually because there were so many rewrites and so many like changes and so much pressure. He actually did drop out towards the end of production. Like I think they had a few last minute things to film and stuff like that. But by that point, he'd thrown in the towel. So that's why the director's cut is called the assembly cut, because like even for the Blu-ray, DVD director's cut special editions that we were watching with Aliens, he refused to come back to talk about it. He was like, no, I've washed my hands of it. It's not my film. I'm gonna go and make other better films. And he did. Like he did Fight Club. He did Seven, which Seven is one of my favorite horror films. Actually, if you've not watched it, watch it. It's great. It's a great crime thriller. But yeah, it's just a real crying shame. And we'll get into my thoughts deeper when we reach the end of it. But it's like there's so many good ideas that this film had, and it was just held back by just political bullshit, like from Fox, you know.
So okay, so because like one of the as I was saying, like one of the things that I really disliked about the opening part of this movie was it's not a bit. It's in broad daylight, so it's not much of a spoiler.
No, it's like the very beginning.
The whole fucking xenomorph egg.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god.
How?
Not just one, but two.
Two of them. Yeah. Two.
Now, I will say, the assembly cut. This is where I think the assembly cut got it better, because my big issue with the theatrical release of Alien 3 is it doesn't really give us anything new lore-wise beyond the xenomorph. This new version of it that can spit acid and stuff like that, which I do like. I actually do like the new Xeno. It's a really good design.
Yeah. I thought this one was not a spare. I thought it was the runner.
Well, it does run because remember the guy that gets killed in the fan the first time, like it shoots some kind of acid at him in his face because like there's a scorch mark later on found.
Right, I didn't think it spat acid at him. I think it just because like it was molten. It just like it was like part of its thing.
Maybe actually, yeah, maybe I don't know
because like it doesn't spit acid at any other point.
That's true, actually. It might have just been
and it's always
an idea they had and then never done with it.
And I've always seen it just been referred to as the runner.
Yeah, and I will say that again, I do like this design. Like it's fast. It's very, very. It behaves almost like a dog or a wolf or something like that.
It is very like primal and animalistic.
Yeah. Like the others were already very kind of.
Yeah, but there's also like very clear intelligence to them as well.
This one truly felt like just a proper hunter, basically.
Yeah,
I really loved it. But so the assembly cut introduces us to the royal facehugger, which is basically a facehugger that it can implant two embryos, a warrior and the queen. The warrior comes out first, so that can protect the host of the queen. The royal facehugger, not only being larger than other facehuggers, also comes with its own inner jaw and a sharp tail to defend itself. But again, because that idea was scrapped, because again, Fox, like, they didn't use most of Fincher's ideas, which again, when you actually watch the assembly cut, some of his ideas are really good. But so sadly, the theatrical release, we just get two facehuggers for some random reason. Even then, the royal facehugger makes no sense, but at least we get.
Hold on though, how the fuck does it end up on the ship though?
Again, that's the only thing. Like it still has that stupid thing. Of how it gets in there, and it's
like it looks like it's in the fucking like the place where they store the cryopods. If it was, if we saw a scene of like it being in the hangar, maybe then they could have excused like, okay, the xenomorph queen took two eggs with her,
put them in there.
Yeah. If we saw that, fine, but it is very clearly they are in the same room where Ripley, where the cryo chambers are. Again, I know it's not cryo; it's hypersleep.
Yeah. Well, they call them cryos.
Oh, do they? Okay. So
in the film they do. Yeah.
Okay. So they are very clearly in the cryo room, underneath the table.
Yeah.
So again. Maybe they couldn't afford the maybe they because of the production issues and whatnot. Maybe they didn't have the money to do the ship's hangar, and maybe they felt like, you know what, it's just a brief scene. There's no point of us making this set just for this like brief scene.
Pretty
with the
much,
egg.
yeah. It's literally just, I think, because I don't think they reused the set from Aliens. I think they just made some new props, did some close-up shots to make it look as close to the ship from the second film as possible, and then they just felt like,
you know what, there's no point of us trying to make it look like the hangar. But again, though, that extra detail, if they did do it though, that little bit of extra detail would have made the whole scene feel a bit more like, oh, that conniving fuck! Like it.
Yeah, the queen brought him. And again, if they did the royal facehugger, you could have written in that the royal facehugger is actually a part of the queen's body that can separate. So it just ran off during the fight with Ripley.
Yeah,
like there are so many ways you could have explained it.
We would need more footage to explain it being attached to the queen, and that would have been way more expensive. But like, if you had like two eggs like attached to like, if you showed like a close up of like an engine, you know, like that's all they would have had. Because remember, she was hidden between two engines. If you had a close up
in the dropship, yeah.
So if you had a close up of like something that vaguely looked like the dropship's engine, it would have made the scene a bit more believable. Also, it would have spoken to the intelligence of the xenomorph queen.
Exactly. Like she knew enough. Like, all right, this bitch killed my babies. I'm gonna show her.
And this place is all on fire. Need to make a new nest somewhere. And again, like, and because xenomorphs, like, and the idea of like, okay, to continue the like species, because like again, like, because they don't have any like unlike humans, they're not going to have an eco. So like obviously the xenomorph queen would protect the egg that would continue the species. Hence the royal egg. She would have taken that egg and again, as you said, one warrior egg for the purposes of setting up a new hive.
Exactly. Like there's but no, instead, because
we get a fucking we get the fucking cryo room with the eggs. That just does not make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Alright, so
again though, like it's weird because it's so many flaws, but like the opening title sequence I do enjoy all the same, because despite the fact it gives us that stupid thing with the eggs, they're again like showing the disaster as it's happening with the credits, and you've got the haunting music by Elliot Goldenthal. It's great.
Overall
in terms of that, like, it's just the ideas that it shows are shit.
Like there's so much potential like they could have done.
Exactly. Like and then oh god, so yeah, we get the it disconnects, it lands on Fury 161, and we get the moment the film died for me.
Okay, here we go.
Oh god, for fuck's sake.
So
why did they kill off Hicks and Newt and Bishop?
I don't that makes no sense to me. And it's not like, okay, when it came to the Bishop thing, it's not like they were saving fucking money, because he's still in the fucking movie.
Yeah, they
twice.
They did bring Lance Henriksen back. Apparently he wasn't on board at first, but they did, like, they made a deal and he came back to do it. But yeah, it's just one of those things where like, because I do know the actress that played Newt, again, she just did Aliens and then she went on to like become a teacher and stuff like that. So fair enough, she didn't want to come back. That's perfectly fine.
And unfortunately, like, unless they get them actually to Earth and give them a happy Newt a happy ending. But then the thing is though, Sigourney Weaver's character wanted to raise Newt. So, which then would have meant no Sigourney Weaver. So, unfortunately, the only way, like, for that to happen was for Newt to then die.
It was so. Again, this is why I still think that it just nothing needed to happen after Aliens, you know, because the doing this really does just undermine all that development and all that effort from that second film, you know.
Yeah.
And I do know Michael Biehn actually was on board with coming back, but he immediately said no when he found out what they were going to do. Like, he didn't want, because his idea of Hicks dying was like same as Ripley, basically going out in a blaze of glory, basically. So to be killed kind of off camera in his sleep, like, didn't go well with him. Not only that, but he found out they used his likeness without his permission for the film, so they had to negotiate for that as well.
So yeah, like,
again, it's just this.
Have him go out. Like, see, that's why they should have just given him what he wanted. To give him to go out in the blaze of glory at the end of Alien 3.
Yeah, they could have easily had that.
Like, they could have. Like, hell, you could even have him die to the Wantani enforcers.
Yeah, they're starting to shoot at Ripley. He gets in front of her, and then he dies, and then she falls down to the thing. So already, like, this film kind of starts off on a bad leg just by doing that, like, killing off, like, because what really got it for me is, like, okay, Hicks died in his sleep. He got crushed. His head's crushed by some metal
beam
beam thing, from the EEV, which, again, it shows how shoddily the EEVs are made if this is what happens. Also, it's not really that safe. Actually,
sorry, that I did not. Oh shit, fuck. Why is the fucking escape pod, like, because this is clearly a thing meant to be an escape pod. Why the fuck it, like, can it like, no.
It was so bad, and then the one that got me, because as Ripley's taken away by the residents of the planet to be brought into the medical thing, and then we're shown a screen, and it's like, oh yeah, here are the contents of the EEV. One droid who is damaged beyond repair, and it shows the remains of Bishop. Then it shows, oh yeah, Corporal Hicks impaled or decapitated in cryosleep, and it shows the remains of Hicks, which I will say, very gnarly. I will say the effects were very good. And then the one that killed the movie for me, it says, oh, girl approximately 12 years old drowned, and then it cuts to Newt, her cryopod filled with water, and her clearly looking like she was clawing at the glass with a look of pure terror on her face, because she drowned, like, awake, basically. And it was one of those things, like, of all the characters, like, why was she the one given the most horrific death?
Yeah,
like, it was just so fucking, because again,
I would have swapped it so that New dies to the rebar. Something quick, quick and painless. Okay. But then Hicks drowned, clawing at it, possibly trying to get out to help New.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, it would be in keeping with his character. He would maybe to have cracks on the glass, like he tried to punch his way out. That would at least be keeping character. But yeah, because what they do with her, and I get it, because they wanted her to be the red herring. They wanted the audience, for a short time to believe that Newt had an embryo inside of her, because Ripley, when she's taken to see the body in the cryo, she notices the burn. On the cryopod, the acid burn, and it's just.
No, the whole New scene, like everything involving New is just like, it's gut wrenching.
It is.
It's like, because again, how this character, like this, because the story of New is such a sad one, because you're just like, and again, it does make watching Aliens a little harder, because you're just like, oh, girl.
Like it has this happy ending. Oh my God, she has a. She survived. She has a new mommy. Ripley has a new daughter. Oh, it's so great. I can't wait to see if they do continue this. What happens next? Alien 3. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like it is severely gut wrenching.
God. It's again when I watched the film for the first time, and again even going back and rewatching it, it still just kind of kills my mood.
It's hard to enjoy new again, like we've always talked about this. It would have been such a cool idea. Now again, we understand that the actress she didn't want to come back to acting like and all that, like she didn't want to do Alien 3, but you know what they could have easily done, because I think this was fairly common back in the day. They could have just recasted her.
Exactly, and even then, if they wanted to as well, I can't remember where I read it, but it was like on a fan page. But someone had submitted the idea that have it be like her cryopod does get damaged, but it just means that she doesn't age as slowly as the others do in the cryosleep. Like that could explain the aging.
Yeah, like, there you go.
And then they could recast with an older actor. Then that would. There are so many ways that you could have made it work. Unfortunately, 20th Century Fox just don't.
And then again, then if you want to continue the franchise, then later without Sigourney Weaver, have it be new, carrying the torch, and you can even have her end up joining like the Colonial Marines or something like that. Exactly,
and again, that's that was kind of the thing Neil Blomkamp wanted to do with his Alien 5 idea, that which we talked about before in the past, but it's just a bizarre way to solve the other characters. Like it's just fuck's sake.
All right, we'll move on to the prison world.
Yes, so we're on the Prison of Fury 161.
Yeah.
And again, as you said, this is where they kept a lot of the ideas for Vincent Ward's script, where so it's no longer monks, it's prisoners, and they're still celibate, they're still religious.
Yeah.
And it was a unique idea, I will say, like especially with the cat. Like again, just like with Aliens and Alien, like
the
Alien
casting
3
choice,
has a great cast.
Yeah, like my god.
Which I've absolutely, I can't really think of any member of the cast that I disliked. Like they were
like obviously there are some nameless prisoners that don't really have personality. To them, and you can tell, like, as per usual, like with the Alien movies, you can pretty much be like, you're gonna die.
Which of course they have that one sequence halfway through, their plan to try and get it, and that was clearly all just there to get rid of like the nameless prisoners.
But like, still though, like the ones that do like personality are like, they stand out. They are very interesting.
They are, and I will say, credit where it's due, and I think this is mostly due to the actors. Like, this is meant to be a prison planet of like convicted murderers and rapists and shit like that. And they somehow managed to make, like, Dylan, the leader, who is the leader of the prisoners, like, as he says to Ripley, like, he is a murderer and rapist of women, yet somehow they managed to actually make him likable. Which is a weird sentence to say. I know, listeners, it is weird.
It is weird. But like the clear thing is, he is the one. I think like he found religion, and he was the one that started the whole thing.
I think that's Charles Dance's character, Clemens, the doctor. I think he's explaining to Ripley kind of the history of the prison, and that's Dylan was the one that kind of started. So I would take it to mean that Dylan is the one that. Yeah, he, as you say, he found religion, and he probably tried to look for ways to redeem. Like he's trying to repent from.
But he
his
does
sins,
not,
basically.
and it's clear. Like, and his interactions with Ripley, like, is like he still like he probably there's definitely some self-loathing.
Yeah, like you can tell, like there are parts where he is kind of uncomfortable being around her. And which I do love. Like it's when the two of them interact for the first time after the funeral scene, which we will get to because that's a beautiful scene.
Oh yeah.
He's clearly trying to intimidate her, and Ripley's just like, "Bitch, I've fought things far more terrifying than you. What do you think you have on me?" And again, it's an interesting thing that, because again, a lot of these, most of the prisoners, we don't know why they're there. It's just implied murderers, rapists, serial killers, and we don't know who's who. I'm going to just say, with the exception of Dylan, I'm just going to go with the headcanon that the ones that are played by actors I like are just the ones that did murders and never repenting. That's it.
Yeah. Because like he even again like eventually he does even come to her rescue, like, and it is very clearly implied he beats one of them to fucking death.
Well, actually, we do actually see that character again later
do
on.
we?
He just got when before the warden dies, when they're all in the canteen, you can actually see him sitting at a table, and he's got a bandaged head from where.
Oh, that's him. I thought I thought the bandaged head was because of the. I didn't notice he had a bandaged head there.
Oh no,
I thought that was due to the failed plan.
Oh, that comes later. Yeah, I know who you're thinking of. He was actually one of the guys that tried to rape Ripley as well. He was the one that Ripley punched.
Right.
That gets the burns. That's that guy.
Okay.
I will say as well. Again, we're jumping ahead, but I don't mind because I want to bring up that scene where Dylan saves Ripley from almost being graped. Has one of my favorite lines in the film. Where
I need to teach.
Like, I need to re-educate the brothers.
Yeah.
It's just like, and he's got fucking beaten them in the bar.
Yeah. So like again, like this is one like again out of all of them, they all though to maybe to some extent the others probably have repented. Repented. Because like you do see someone, you do see even some of them like being like when they say, "Oh God," like one's like, "Hey man, don't say that," like you know. So don't
take the Lord's name in vain.
You get glimpses that some of these guys are probably claiming they repented so that they don't have to go to a different prison and they're staying there.
Yeah.
But like. Some of
them are clear. Some of them that are there have clearly developed a conscience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a genuinely. Again, it's a weird thing because you'd never think like someone tells you, "Oh, what's the premise of Alien 3?" Alien 3 tries to make you care about a planet full of criminals. Oh.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I don't care about most of them. In fact, I was kind of happy when a lot of them died.
Yeah, but, no. In the end, like knowing that they're criminals does soften the blow of the deaths.
Yeah, which is to the movie's kind of detriment.
The only real death I genuinely cared about was the Doctor and surprisingly Dylan.
Yeah,
but again, that's because with Dylan, you do get the sense of like. No, I'm fully repented. I'm like, to be honest with you, I could have seen him actually getting proper release, like as in like he is completely what's the term? Correct?
Rehabilitated.
Rehabilitated. I could see him being fully rehabilitated. However, there is clearly he still acknowledges like I've did horrible wrong. Like my repentance is not complete.
Yeah, and so
hence why he's staying on the prison world.
Yeah,
and eventually how he's so okay with his final end.
Yeah, like I again, when we get to that part, we will get to, because their plan is pretty cool. But like his death, because he's just swearing at the alien, like, "Is that all you got, motherfucker? Is that how hard you can bite?" And just like. It's again, Dylan surprising. I never thought. Again, as you said, I was surprised to come out of this movie actually liking Dylan as a character.
Yeah. Now, that's another example that this xenomorph is a lot more primal than what we've seen with others, because throughout the movie we see it actually, for one, eating.
Yeah, we actually do see it feast.
It's surprising, but like we would see it feast while ignoring others. Like others actually run away and escape because it is eaten. Whereas the drone, now again, like the drones obviously are all about building the hive and serving the queen. So that's why when we see drones, they tend to not leave survivors. Like if they when they kill, they quickly move on.
Exactly.
Because the drones are out to do a mission, whereas runners, as you said, they're clearly the spawn of warrior eggs or warrior facehuggers. So like their clear intent is to kill and possibly maybe even in some case Actually, no, because like if it's their job is to kill, then why is it stopping the feast? Like, again, I think it's just due to the fact.
I think it's
due to
because you know they inherit a lot of the
Yeah.
traits of their host, and in this
Yeah.
case, it's a dog.
Maybe, yeah. So maybe, yeah, because a warrior from a human is very intelligent. We've seen, well, okay, I don't think we see them in the movies, but we do see warriors act in video games, and they do tend to have a very lot of intelligence.
Yeah,
in
well,
terms of how they approach.
I would even argue in Alien,
You think that was a warrior?
Oh no, no, you're right. Actually, no, because it's got the flat domed head. No, yeah,
And
you're
also,
right,
it actively attempts to build a nest.
that is true. Yeah, with
Well, a
aliens,
hive.
I suppose with aliens we see the drones. I would say their intelligence lies more in tactics.
Yeah.
Because they know, like they assert a situation. Okay, the hallway
I
has
think
these
it's
turrets. Where can we go? Ceiling.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's I think the runner's behavior is purely just down to the fact that it's bestial. It's from a quadruped.
It's very much a more primal mentality. Even Ripley herself is like, I have never seen one behave or move like this before.
Yeah. So I wonder, like, a part of me would have to feel that even though runners are like, I feel like even if you were to have like a drone egg, a drone facehugger impregnating a quadruped, the resultant runner would probably still be very bestial, and it'll probably still act the very same way. I will say, however, they will probably be a bit squishier because we see that this runner can endure a lot of punishment. From their final trap to kill it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like if that was a drone, it probably would have died.
Yeah, because if the aliens can't even survive, like, because I do know again, this is mostly with the video game, so take it with video game logic.
Yeah.
But, like, whenever you're killing a drone with, let's say, a flamethrower, they typically explode.
Yeah.
Into an array of acid particles.
Yeah, like again, because again, we see, like, we even saw the drones being killed en masse in Aliens, and like the thing is that those, like, yeah, they were very quick to die, but whereas this thing, again, their final trap.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. Also, this thing one does not seem to have as much of an issue with fire. Because others, when they came with the fire, they backed off very quickly. This one, because again, it is from a warrior egg, is like, it's backing the way a little bit because, again, fire, it's instinctual. All living creatures instinctually have an issue with fire, but it's not backing off as much as we saw with other xenomorphs.
Exactly.
So,
even the queen, like, kind of recoiled at a blowtorch.
Yeah.
Like, it does kind of show us just
like the warriors are like, they are made of sterner stuff.
Exactly, and it's you should have seen when it comes to the warrior, this one as well, the runner alien, the HR Geek. So this wasn't designed entirely by HR Giger. He came on as a consultant, and he came up with all these great, really interesting designs. Like, one of the, because I think Fincher had said he wanted the design to not be as biomechanical, but have a more kind of how did he explain it? It was like feminine or something like that. Basically, it was going to be like because they were going to, I think the idea was to lean into the whole thing of the prisoners are celibate, so the alien would kind of be designed around that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
so he wanted to give the alien. So H.R. Giger wanted to give the alien lips, and to kill its victims, it would basically give the prisoner a kiss, and then its inner jaw would reach down and rip out its insides from its mouth. That, which would have been fucking gnarly if they did that.
The only thing is, I can't see that coming from like a quadruped creature. That would have to come from a humanoid. That level of intelligence, like the idea of like seducing someone.
Well, not
like,
just not seducing, more so just like as it's instead of like just having the inner Josh shoot out and crack their skull, it would just give them the kiss of death, basically.
But why do the kiss then? Like, why would? Well,
I
I suppose
think
I suppose it grabs hold of them, similar to how it grabbed hold of one person in Alien, and then cracked their skull.
yeah. I think it's the thing of I think because it's H.R. Giger and he always likes to kind of like with his art, he always wanted to have like an uncomfortable sexual aspect to them. They didn't use those ideas, obviously. Though the whole ripping out of the mouth thing, again, I would have been curious to see how that works. But no. So the other designers then they took most of it, some of his ideas, and then they just stuck with the biomechanical thing. He didn't even get credited actually in the theatrical release of the film in theaters. He wasn't credited until the VHS release. Which I'm glad, because it's still, at the end of the day, it is still based on H.R. Giger's initial Alien designs. Yeah. So they gave him that credit for the film, at least, which I'm glad they did.
All right, so we continue on. So we talked about the prisoners, like, and it's a surprising like how you end up caring for some of them. So we then rejoin Ripley. No, sorry, the prisoners have a whole, like, the quote unquote warden has a meeting with the prisoners to basically squash any rumors that's happening. There's about 25 prisoners.
I think 25 altogether. Like, was what Clemens had said. Yeah.
So he's like, okay, there's a woman. Don't worry, we're going to try and keep her separated from you guys, so he wouldn't be tempted, because like the prisoners are reacting negatively.
Yeah. Like, I believe through this scene we're introduced to a character, Morse, who is one of the last prisoners to be alive, and he's like, I've taken a vow of celibacy. We've all taken the vow. Like, so again, we're already given a very, very clear indication of their religious views and who these people are, basically, in terms of that. And it's a good way of establishing the situation with very few exposition dialogue, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
then we're then quickly introduced to Dylan, who basically calms down the prisoners. Yeah,
he's kind of like the mediator, like, because when Morse has the big outburst, he's like, what? Dylan's like, what Brother Morse means to say is that we've taken this vow that of any kind of temptation, especially women. And it's like, oh, okay. So it kind of shows us this is the man who is the voice of reason.
Yeah,
in some way.
You also get the vague sense, like, immediately, like he's more so the guy in charge as opposed to the actual warden.
Yeah. The warden's just there as they will listen to him, obviously, but other than that, he's kind of just, they listen to him out of necessity more so than anything else. But Dylan is the one who they seem to respect.
Yeah.
Even Clemens, the doctor.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of the doctor, we then finally rejoin Ripley. As she wakes up, the doctor is saying, like, I'm giving you some of my own concoction.
Yeah. He's, again, a very kind of, like, this is... And again, it's a good way of showcasing just how run down. Like, this is a Way-U facility, but it's very clearly like it's the ass end of nowhere. Like,
they are low on supplies, so the doctor has to get creative in how he keeps everyone, like, alive.
Exactly.
Explains that he has to shave Ripley's head.
They have a problem with lice, that kind of thing. Which apparently Sigourney Weaver actually had to get a slight pay increase just for doing that. Apparently.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, fair play to her, because like I'm curious about the reason why they decided to have all of them have shaved heads. I know they gave an in-movie reason. But
I think because it's a prison planet as well, so it kind of makes sense. That's what I think, though. I think a lot of people have jokingly called this movie the bald one,
right?
Because almost no one has hair, with the exception of Bishop, who comes back.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so he's Ripley obviously immediately asks, "Where's everyone?" And the doctor, who's played by an amazing actor,
Charles Dance, who most people will know
from
these
Game of
days
Thrones
as Tywin Lannister. I know him from, of course, Alien. This was the first thing I saw him in, but he also
Same.
appeared in James Bond.
Yes.
I think it is For Your Eyes Only. The ski, because I just remember he's chasing Roger Moore while skiing. So that's all I remember.
Yeah. There's also I've seen him first in this. Then I saw him in I believe Merlin.
He's in Merlin?
Yeah, he's only in one episode. He plays the witch hunter. Who's a fraud.
Ah, okay. I really need to watch that show.
It's really good. It's on Disney Plus. But yeah, John Hurt is surprisingly is also in it. Voices the dragon.
Yes, he does.
Acts as Merlin's mentor.
Much.
Well, one of his mentors.
Yeah, I remember that much. I think I remember watching the first episode, and then I think I just never got back into it.
Yeah, and a legendary Buffy actor is the King Uther. I was surprised to discover he was actually gay. I never got that from any of his performances. Like because he's always playing straight males. Yeah. Anyway, so again, she asks to see the ship. He brings
to the remains of it and stuff like that. Yeah,
I'm curious about why she wants to see the remains of it. Like because there was no there was really no hint for her up to that point to be like, oh, a xenomorph.
I think it's because. I think it's because she wanted to see just how bad the damage was, like just the damage that was done, because she already knows that she's the only survivor, so I think she wants to see why, and so this is kind of because I suppose at the same time she wants to know what caused them to go into the EEV to begin with, so maybe going there would give her some kind of inkling. And yeah, then we get the explanation from Clemens about how each of them died. The droid was just damaged beyond repair.
In all fairness, yeah, from the ending of Aliens, it's like in all fairness, it is fairly obvious. Like, don't get me wrong, I would have liked the idea of like Ripley, repairing him somehow. Or like at least giving them some sense of repair. Like maybe not having given them back legs, but like some form of them. Maybe a form of him in a real electronic wheelchair, hooked up like that. You can so that he can control it is basically he's plugged into the wheelchair so he can control it that way. Again, it would have been cool. I'm just saying, like I like the idea of like Ripley, being attached to Bishop and then keeping him around. But then in this movie, we discovered that Bishop had like his pride as an android's like, I'm not going to be top of the line anymore. Just shut me off.
Yeah, he kind of accepts it graciously.
Well, yeah, like he's like, if I can't be top of the line, I'd rather be nothing.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, dude, swallow your fucking pride. But he's, again, android, that's like...
Hold on for a sec. Now.
Okay, sorry about that, folks,
yes.
with a quick shout. Now, to you guys, it seemed like just a brief moment of him shouting stop.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So she gets everything's explained to her there. She sees the acid burns on Newt's cryopod, which is when she demands to see the body. Already the doctor's like, okay, clearly you saw you're not telling me something.
Yeah. And again, I will say credit to the character of Clemens. He's not an idiot. Like even though he already even during the autopsy sequence, he's not really fully buying into her logic. Like, oh yeah, I need to dissect the body of Newt, and he's like, why? Cholera, bitch. That hasn't been around for 200 years. What the fuck?
But before we get that, we do get a scene of a prisoner with his dog. His dog has some gnarly scratches on him and whatnot.
and it's very, because again we see this dog very early on
Yeah.
in the EEV barking, and that's when we see the facehugger kind of
Yeah,
crying out
and
for stuff, so
and anyone who saw the facehugger in that scene clearly knows what's about to happen to the dog.
yeah. And I will say, Hollywood usually kind of has that unspoken rule of, if you can avoid it, don't kill the dog. This movie ignored that with a vengeance.
Oh God, yeah. Like even at least with John Wick, we look away.
Yeah, it's off screen. No, this to those of you that love dogs, you will not love this movie.
Yeah,
I mean, I already didn't love it, but
like hell, like you know me, I watch some pretty gnarly stuff. I tend to be okay with all kinds of gruesome shit, but you know what? I still can't do.
Yeah,
I still have to skip the John Wick dog scene.
Yeah, it's like, even me, like, I love that movie and I will watch, but again I can't help, like, it just, hearing it, I just get teared up.
I skip straight to him going back into his house.
At the same time, though, it's a great way to get the audience on board with the protagonist. You've killed a dog, we can all get behind that. Kill the fuckers.
Oh yeah, and again, I sorry, and also just because we're talking about the dogs, and again, this is the appreciation of the actors. The actors' performances of them being like, "You killed his dog."
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
like I love how every single actor's performance is so genuine. Like, you done fucked up.
Yeah, like, this is how you build up your character as being a badass. Just, oh yeah, why did you strike my son? Well, he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. Oh.
You know what? We should cover the John Wick movies.
I'd love to, especially with Ballerina coming out.
Oh yeah, that's the spin-off with the female organization.
Yeah, what's her name? De Armas. I can't remember her first name, but she's a good actor. She's in what's it? No Time to Die.
I haven't seen No Time to Die yet. Oh, I need. You know what? I have all them on DVD. I need to binge them.
They're worth binging.
Yeah, I need to have a weekend, like a Bond weekend.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, they're such good films.
All right, so so we know what's going to happen to the dog. Unfortunately, now I like to think the dog, like the facehugger, it's completed its mission, but I like to think it did not get to just fucking slip off and die. I like to think that it got fucked up by the dog.
Oh yeah, the dog put up a fight, which is why it's got like the scarring and stuff around its face. And
like good
dog
doggo.
was not having it. Yeah,
good doggo, but sad doggo.
Yeah. But then as you say, then we get to the autopsy scene.
Yeah.
From Ripley checking the body, Newt's body, for any signs of like facehugger,
like is it damage, or is there any like lumps in
the chest area and stuff like that. Yeah. And then that's where she says to Clemens, look,
one prisoner clocks her though.
Oh yeah, she's like, he's like, what's she doing?
Yeah, and then that's when the doctor's like, okay, what the fuck are you like? Now he doesn't say those exact lines, but the immediate like going to her like is like, okay, what are you doing?
Yeah, and that's when she's like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not convinced. We have to perform an autopsy. Yeah. Which Clemens immediately, a fair play to him as a doctor, is like, I'm not doing that without a good reason. Like, I'm not just going to blindly listen to why. Give me a valid reason why
they cut up this little girl.
Yeah. Like, and
also,
then she comes up with the cholera reason. Yeah.
Also, again, like, these actors are amazing. Like, because like again, like as I said, like he doesn't even say any lines. When the guy points out to her, like just by the expression on his face, you can tell he's like, what, like. That's the expression of like, no, of like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
like he's testament to Charles Dance as an actor. Just
it's the same reason why I love Hayden Christensen in the Star Wars movies, especially Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, he does facial expressions really well in that film. Yeah.
Oh my god. And I'm giving his performance in Attack of the Clones discredit. Because like that scene where he breaks down crying to Padme. Oh
yeah. No, for me it's when he finds Shmi.
Oh, Again, the actor, he's a great actor, and like fair play. Like he found the role that he truly enjoyed. He did not enjoy acting afterwards. He decided just to fucking call it quits.
Yeah. It's, and again, we'll get into it when we get to Star Wars. But there's so much. I will say there is things worth praising about Hayden Christensen,
and I'm glad he came back. Him coming back, you can tell like it's not his performance as an actor, like because like hell, I even enjoyed his performance in Jumper.
I forgot about that film.
Yeah, he did Jumper afterwards, and he was like, I didn't enjoy it. Like I reached my peak as an actor. So that's why he retired. He squashed the rumors. Like, sorry, he was very vocal about it. It wasn't because of fans that he was.
Were people trying to blame fans for?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But he was
as
like,
I'm aware, like most people did like him in the role.
But anyway, so we get to the sort of heartbreaking autopsy scene.
Which I will say as well, like listening to that scene with headphones is very uncomfortable
because
of the sound design.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it. Like,
it's just... They do not like they spared no expense on the sound budget for this movie. Yeah,
well, they also like they just want to make you feel as miserable as possible in this movie. Like that's again, I think that was the other thing I had an issue with this movie. It is too bleak. Like it's very almost nihilistic in its presentation.
Like our only happy ending. Oh my god, they did it to us twice. Sorry, I just realized, because like our only happy ending in this fucking movie. We semi get to. Morse survives, but he's gone to prison because he was sentenced to life imprisonment. So like. Actually, you know what? He's being carried off by fucking Weyland Yutani. Yeah, actually, no. You know what? He's dead. He's going to be interviewed and then dead.
I will actually say we do actually get a short story about what happened to him after Alien 3. Actually, he's just sent to another prison.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Okay, a semi happy ending for him. He lives.
Yeah. I mean, the experience does change him, obviously, but yeah, I think he does maybe get parole. I'm not sure, but all I can remember is he just gets sent to another prison.
But then for Ripley's character, like, no happy ending, other than save. I took the bastards out with me, which unfortunately gets. Oh my god! For anyone who's watching the movies nowadays, will know. Because again, we're not like these are not new movies, so there's no point sugarcoating. Everyone knows that there's another movie.
Yeah,
the fact that they pulled the fucking rug from under us again.
Just like, oh yeah, fuck it. So that's the thing that a lot of films back then, especially like because if they don't know they're going to be franchises, they're just like
they try and give you happy endings like.
Yeah, they're trying like, this is going to be the end. Like, I know Nightmare on Elm Street did it, where in the third film, which is ironically kind of the only good one in that entire series, which I know is kind of probably going to be a hot take to have, because like the Nightmare on Elm Street films are just goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, there's the third one though is the one that genuinely had like the most.
That's the
creative...
Dream Warriors one, isn't it? Yeah, where it's a bunch of teenagers trying to go into the dreams to fight them.
Yeah, and it's genuinely a good movie. Like, they get creative with the dreams that but again, it's also because it's the third film. They actually give Freddy Krueger an ending. They actually find a way to actually kill off the character. But because it did so well, they were like, oh, we need to bring him back, and then that's where basically every sequel after the third one just plummets, because it's just kind of undoing everything. Basically, the fourth film undoes everything the third film did, and then the fifth film undoes everything the fourth film did, and it's just this spiral of schlock afterwards.
See, that's why I'm glad. Like, now, fair enough. Like with Aliens, they did it with every single fucking movie.
Yeah, well, not even that. Like, Aliens is the only one that doesn't undo what happened in Alien. It's just kind of builds up and continues it. With Alien 3, it does kind of undo character development, stuff like that. And then Alien Resurrection undoes everything that fucking Alien 3 set out to do.
Now, unfortunately, currently there's no Alien 5. And even if there was to be an Alien 5, it would be with a whole new. I honestly feel like it would be with a whole new cast.
Yeah, I think
I don't think we would ever get Sigourney Weaver back, unless again, these are old movies. I don't know why I'm constantly trying to tiptoe around spoilers, because like again, they are like, even Alien Resurrection is fairly fucking old at this point.
Yeah, it's like the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously we're so far in the future at that point, cloning. So even if we were to get an Alien 5 that is based after that movie, I would like to just see her character like being like a fucking like advisor to colonial marines, like a proper, like she's like, yeah, like she's actually like teaching like xenobiology, like, you know, like xenomorph tactics.
Yeah, well, apparently that was going to be one of the ideas that Neil Blomkamp had for his Alien 5. Like, apparently his Alien 5 was going to ignore everything after the second film. Like, it was going to be actually a direct sequel to Aliens. Like, we were going to get an older Newt, we were going to get an older Hicks. Like, it was.
I wouldn't enjoy that. I wouldn't enjoy an Alien 5 ignoring 3 and 4.
Because then get Ripley back.
It'd be, don't get me wrong. Like, it's the idea, the premise sounds interesting, but that to have that like lack of continuity, that would have bothered me.
Okay, no, I can understand that. I know, because I know Halloween did the same thing with like that new trilogy where basically it ignored everything after the first film.
I would argue they must be then reboots. I would class them as reboots as opposed to continuations.
No, I would say soft reboots, because it picks up the story years later after the first, like, because they bring back Jamie Lee Curtis's character, and everything that happened in the first film did happen to her. It's just everything after the first film, like finding out that Michael Myers is her brother and stuff like that. Like that, none of that is canon now. It's literally just he's just a killer that's obsessed with her. That's about it. And the Halloween trilogy is not good.
Right.
The new one. The first one's good. The original, but no. Anyway, back to
in our case, what I could have seen, like, now if we got Alien 5 so very soon, after Alien Resurrection, then maybe we could have gotten maybe a cool action movie where the Ripley clone, who is a xenomorph hybrid, is leading. Like she's some badass leader of like some colonial like marine special forces for for hunting xenomorphs.
And there's so much that, because again, I will say, I again, just like with Alien 3, I do have grievances with Resurrection. The idea of making Ripley a hybrid isn't one of them. I think that is like the most interesting thing they have done with her character since the second film.
Yeah. Now, mind you, unfortunately, the actress has gotten a bit too old now, so I highly doubt we'll see any kind of like, even if we did get an Alien 5, I doubt we would get like the clone Ripley doing some badass like xenomorph fighting.
Like I still think like if they did do if they did the Blomkamp one, I could see
they could
her doing it. Yeah.
Like they could do an animated series or an animated movie focused on the Ripley clone leading some colonial marines.
That honestly, I could see that, because I mean, already they're kind of animating a lot of old, like they're making a term.
Here's for her unit, they even have here's a badass name: Bug Hunters, as a tribute back to fucking aliens.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
There you go. You could call her unit Bug Hunters.
I mean, it could work, because they're making, because I mean, they've already made a Terminator anime called Terminator Zero, which is actually really good.
I haven't seen it.
They could actually, that's actually quite good. They could do the same thing with Alien. Honestly, I think they should do that.
Yeah, and hell, they could even call the anime Bug Hunters, because it could focus entirely on that squad.
Yeah, they could actually do it similar to the Starship Troopers series, where it's because Starship Troopers.
Yeah, they did a cartoon series focusing on a unit of things.
And not only that, despite the fact it was targeted towards kids, it was frightening. Like it did actually.
Yeah, there was a lot of dark scenes, and jump scares.
Yeah. It's oh my god, great series. Fucking, I really need to find that.
Also, and you know what they could have done? Also, then eventually, like maybe they run into a Yautja You
Yes,
know?
and then link it to the Predators. Yes.
And maybe a Yautja fucking joins the team, like, and it could have a cool moment where they develop like a special like translator device for his mask, for his or
Yeah.
her mask.
And
You know?
and then we'd be getting, Ripley interacting with a Predator, which would be fucking amazing.
There you go.
But no,
Boom.
sadly, yeah. Hollywood, hire us.
Like, people, share this video because if you want to get like a badass, like if you want to see Ripley ripping it like xenomorphs to shit, because like again, like she has acid of her blood, which means her body must be somewhat resistant. If you want to see Ripley ripping a xenomorph in two,
That'd be fucking
there you
brilliant.
like there you fucking go. Share this video, or even hell, remix this part of the video and share it, so that way one day we could see something like that. Maybe actually, maybe that should be maybe we should do like a little like short workshop video at the end of whenever we finish a series. Do a short workshop video of like what we would add to the franchise. But anyway,
Yeah. So yeah, we're I believe we're on the funeral scene now. Which is
it is
again,
a beautiful scene.
It's a beautiful scene. It's well acted. The music's fantastic. It's well shot, and again, I do love the again. I don't bring it up much because I think it's again. I when it comes to talk about films, I am more so like focusing on the more objective elements of it. But in terms of like a subjective thing, the symbolism, like the death and rebirth kind of symbolism that the sequence goes for, because as they're casting Hicks and Newt's body to the furnace, the alien is being born at the same time.
Yeah, and it's a brutal scene.
It is like I did kind of struggle to sit through it.
Yeah, poor Duggo.
Watch it. I did. I hated it because its squeals are so real.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like it. And then just an explosion of guts and shit. Like, oh
like
no.
Guys, if you can't tell, like me and SkullDuggery are big dog lovers, and like we are also dog owners.
Yeah,
like I have three dogs.
My dog is currently sitting on my bed right now, just sleeping.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, she was playing with my water bottle earlier on, and out of fear that it would pick up the mic. She can't play with them anyway, because in case she like swallows the cats. But
yeah, like watching those type of scenes as a dog owner is just like, oh,
yeah, it's not pleasant. I feel that way because again, I'm kind of a dog and cat lover. So if I see dogs or cats kind of in any way, kind of being like getting harmed in a film or a game, I'm just like, oh, I didn't like that. Don't do that.
Actually, have you not noticed? It's never cats.
I will say, yeah, dogs kind of more so, but I have seen the odd movie where they'll off a cat. Like the first one that comes to mind is Kung Fu Hustle, where great movie if you haven't watched it.
Oh, Kung Fu Hustle, love it. It's so funny.
It's such a good film. But yeah, so you know that scene with the guys that play the guitar thing that slices people in half and shit like
oh, that? Yeah. You see the cat silhouette. Yeah.
So I was like, ugh, no, I don't like that. Don't kill the cat, you bastard.
Mind you, in all fairness, that was done so silently. Like, you only see the shadow.
Like it's like an instant death thing.
Yeah. No, but with dogs, they really go out of it. Like, it seems that Hollywood goes out of their way to really pull on the heartstrings when it comes to dogs.
I think because they know. I think it's because most people are dog people. Like I know there are cat people, but I think like most of the population of Earth would probably go for a dog more than a cat.
Yeah, and the whole dog's is man's best friend.
Yeah. So I think they are just playing on the numbers game there, but it works because again, watching that scene is difficult.
And as we said, what better way to get you motivated to cheer for John Wick to go on a murder spree?
And John Wick, yeah. And then again, the best. Same here. Like I, as soon as it came out of the dog, I just wanted to see that fucker die.
Yeah. All right. So after we get Dylan doing a beautiful sermon though afterwards.
Yeah.
Again, like strangely makes you care about the character.
Like there is more to him than the reasons he's been here. Like he is clearly a man that has repented, and he's doing what he can to ensure he stays that way, basically.
Yeah. Now there's an interesting thing, because just as the warrior xenomorph is born, again I say warrior, but I should use a more technical term, the runner. Once the runner is born, we get a scene of Ripley's nose bleeding.
Yeah, and that's the first sign of many to come throughout this film, that her health is kind of comes up a few times during the course of the film, that she just isn't feeling well. And I do kind of appreciate that at first, like when she's going to get the scan and stuff like that, she thinks it's like a hemorrhage in the brain, like she thinks like she's got something wrong with her up in the brain, and then no, it turns out she's been impregnated.
Yeah. Now, before we get to that scan, though, she shaves her head, has a nice wash, and she goes to get food. Now, she goes to get the food, like her food, like completely unsupervised by like the guard, the warden, or even the doctor.
Yeah,
and
she's
it's
just going on her own.
Yeah, because again, from her point of view, the shit she faced is nothing compared to these guys. And we see the prisoners reacting now. Some of the prisoners are a little nervous. Like there's even one who does a quick blessing. Like he blesses himself.
Played by Paul McGann. Yeah, I think his character's called Gullick in the film. He's a weird one.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that I would say is trying to actually be proper repent. But yeah, no, Ripley immediately goes to sit with Dylan.
Yeah, he's to thank him at first, and then that's when they kind of have the stare. Like he's trying to intimidate. Having rewatched the film, I get the feeling he's saying all of this more so for her sake. Like, I'm telling you right now, you are in danger. Do not sit here. Like, what are you doing right now? And her just basically stepping up and meeting the challenge. Like, oh, I must make you very uncomfortable then. And so they do kind of have this great kind of verbal battle, like of sorts.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, a testament to the acting of both of them, because they both work off each other really well in that scene, which I love. But
you can even tell he begrudgingly he's like, okay, you've earned some of my respect. When he's like, we have enough faith even for you.
Yeah, even for those we consider reprehensible, or whatever the line was. But it's just such a really, again, there is a good movie in here trying to get out. At times, and it's again moments like that, and with the cast that really do showcase that.
Now, I know we started off this whole video was basically shitting on the movie. But once you get past this star, you can see some of the shine.
Yeah, I'll just go spoiler right now. Before we get to the end, I do consider this film a guilty pleasure. It's not a film I would go to often, but if I'm doing an Alien rewatch, completely, I'm doing the franchise, I will come to it and be like, oh yeah, shit, the opening, I have to get through the opening first, and then there's the rest of the film where I'm like, okay, some of this isn't great, but again, there's enough in here that I did still enjoy it.
If you can once you get past the opening with the whole fucking egg being in the cryo room.
And killing off alien casts.
Yeah, and killing off Hicks and New. Once you get past those scenes, once you get to the funeral, that's when the real shine of the movie does start to come through.
Yeah,
again, the problem was not being able to get the actors back, and then forcibly having to adjust so that you can have your lead in it, because unfortunately they had to kill off New because there was no way to do Sigourney Weaver without New, because again, why would her character leave New? Even if she had a passion for being an officer on a ship, which is how they lure her back to being to go with the team anyway in Aliens. She's not gonna fall for that shit again.
No.
She, once they got back to the colonies, she was gonna stay fucking put with New. She would have been like, you know what? Maybe I'll just work on the docks.
Yeah,
I could see that happening.
yeah. I think it is one of those things where they should have just recast Newt. I think
Yeah.
honestly, it would have at the very if Newt was. I think if Newt was the only other survivor, I think I could have tolerated the opening a little more, because they just decided everyone that Ripley dies. I'm like, okay, that's just fucking stupid.
But again, like and then like with Hicks, like they could have continued like the story with Hicks, but again, like it's very clear like the person they really wanted back was Sigourney Weaver, and unfortunately, again, with the way her character was developed, there was no way of getting.
It is that thing of like, where do you go with her character from the end of Aliens?
Yeah, the only way you get her on the planet is if something happened on their journey, and like she's stuck there with New and Hicks. However, the actor of Hicks didn't want to come back. The actor of New didn't want to come back. Yeah. So that, unfortunately, the writers were backed up into a corner.
Well, that's the thing. The whole Hicks thing could have been resolved if they didn't kill him off the way that, because that was his only issue. Like, he said he would have come back if they didn't kill him off the way they did.
Oh, so they were just stubborn that you were going to be dead from the start.
Pretty much, yeah. Like he had said, because he had said a few years later that he actually, if they had, like, if he had a say in how Hicks dies, he probably would have come back.
Oh,
he didn't like how they killed him off, because they were just asking him to come back for a glorified cameo where his head gets caved in, basically.
Yeah, no. Again, I would have. Okay. Now again, obviously the actresses, like the young actress' parents, would have had a say in like whether or not like New could come back, because again, like parents.
Yeah, she's only a minor. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know. We don't know the full deals if it was her or if it was her parents. But in either case, they couldn't get her back. So obviously, they would have had to either recast the character. But again, they had an option of something going wrong with her cryopod so that she's still aged. They could have done that, and they could have just simply recast. But even if they didn't want to go with that option, then they would have had to kill New. Because if the actress didn't come back and they didn't want to recast her, then that's the only way you're going to resolve that situation.
Exactly. It's
but with the way that they, however, because Sigourney Weaver wanted them to kill off Ripley, though, at the end of this movie. Actually, I suppose they could have had New be taken off by Weyland-Yutani.
Well, so that's the thing as well. That's where Hicks surviving comes into it as well. Then, because then she could just live on with Hicks then.
Yeah, but if he wanted to die off as well, then he could have died off. He could have died. You could have replaced Dylan's death with Hicks.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been amazing if Hicks went out the way Dylan did.
Give him a fucking knife.
Again, he'll have it handy for close encounters.
But it's again, there's so many ways like they could have ended this movie.
Yeah. So many different ways to make it work. That was better than what we got. Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
In our case, we have the verbal battle. We had the verbal battle between Ripley and Dylan. Again, pretty interesting.
It's a nice showcase of not only what he is as a character, but again, just the reaction of all the others of the inmates. Like, you can kind of, some of them look uncomfortable, others look almost kind of just curious,
and some are looking hungry at her.
Oh yeah, no, some of them are they're giving her looks, and it's clearly, this is clearly a space where Ripley is for once again, like in no matter where she's gone, she's ended up in somewhere where she is just not safe, whether it be from the alien or from in this case human.
We then get the scene after that though, where the doctor is giving her the recap of the history of this place, and So like he's answering all her questions, but then like at the end he has some of his own.
Yeah, and again, she's kind of avoiding the questions. And I will say, I do like that the explanation for the prison still being active is it's a methane mining kind of facility now. Like, that's why they have the big furnaces. Like, they mine methane from the planet, which allows them to kind of keep the place functioning. So in some way, they are contributing to
society.
Yeah, in what and it's the idea that the prisoners wanted to stay, so they're okay. You have custodial ownership, and as long as these three people stay, you're fine. And yeah, it's so because we're getting to this thing, she's avoiding the questions, but the way she avoids it. So do you remember when you said you had an issue with kind of the whole Hicks Ripley thing in Aliens?
Oh God, yeah, I know.
What the fuck?
Now, mind you, the Doctor knows full on well why a certain thing happened. Now that scene doesn't happen until after we go back. We're in the vents.
Yeah. Like
the
scene ends with her saying, "Are you attracted to me? In what kind of way? In that kind of way." I'm just like, oh, okay. And then we cut to the air vent scene. Then yeah.
Now, because again, like Ripley's dodging a question. And because like we even get a scene earlier where he acknowledges that even he hasn't seen a woman for quite some time.
Yeah, but he's just more gentlemanly about it.
But anyway, so back to the vents.
Yes.
So in the vents, we see a guy clearly scraping off some kind of like corrosion off of the wall, like rust. And whatnot.
It's like just gunk and shit like that.
Yeah.
I think it's the owner of the dog as well.
It is.
Yeah.
Which makes this even more sort of fucking tragic.
Yeah. He thinks it's the dog in there as well.
Yeah. So he's singing away with a god awful fucking singing voice.
Yeah.
Like we
God.
we hear him talk, so I'm like, okay, that's how you talk. That's how you sing.
Yeah. Well, actually, because in terms of the actor, because I was thinking I recognized him for some reason, and for the life of me, I couldn't place why I recognized him. And I found out he is in 2 movies that I have seen and that I enjoy, and that we've probably both seen. So, you know the guy in Guardians of the Galaxy that Chris Pratt's character is trying to sell the Infinity Stone to at the start of the first film, before he meets Gamora?
Yeah.
That's him.
Really?
That's the same. Yeah.
The one the one that's all fancy and is like, shoot.
Get out, go away. I don't want to deal with Ronan the Accuser. That's the same actor. And he's also in the 1989 Batman movie. He is one of the 2 goons that we see Batman beat the shit out of at the start of the film. He's the guy that
wait,
just like, there ain't no bat. Now shut up.
Ain't no bat. Wait, I'm trying to remember, because like, things I don't. The earliest Batman movies I saw was the one with Two-Face.
Oh, Batman Forever. Okay, yeah. No, this is the very first.
I never seen those.
You've never seen the Tim Burton ones?
No. Oh no, I seen Tim Burton. I seen one of the Tim Burton ones with Penguin.
Oh, Batman Returns. Okay, yeah, that's the second one. So you've not seen the original? Okay. But no, yeah.
Also, I want to point out, low key, Batman kills someone in that movie.
Oh, he kills a lot of people in the Tim Burton movies.
Yeah, wow. Like, there's a clown with a fucking bomb, like a bomb strapped to his chest. Batman kicks the guy, then tosses him like over a deep railing, gutter railing, and then boom.
While also delivering the most insane smile to the guy.
he's just walking like again, don't get me wrong, it's a badass Batman scene because he's just walking, like he's on his way to his Batmobile, he's kicking clowns' asses, and then like this clown scene, like he's all hot shit because he's a bomb shot to his chest, he's just like bam, boom, puts the bomb back onto the clown, tosses him over, then boom,
and then he just explodes. I will say, at the very least, when it comes to the Tim Burton Batman, he doesn't kill everyone, only the ones that get in his way. Most of them.
Because again, like the Batman never kills is more of a recent thing in the comics and movies, like in shows.
It wasn't actually. It was like maybe his 4th or 5th issue when he was first introduced. That's when actually the no-kill rule came in.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
So Tim Burton just didn't care.
Fuck it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
Now, to be fair, because with Tim Burton, you kind of let it go because his whole thing is dark and gothic.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it because the way they do it is actually kind of okay. It's not like a destruction of his character. Anyway, sorry, yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's the actor from that film. He's been in a few other things, I think. I just, for the life of me, cannot remember where else I've seen him. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there as a nice little tip.
So yeah, anyway, so yeah, he's scraping off some gunk. He steps in something disgusting, which now people, this is the first time we sort of get a sense of it, but not in this large of a scale, because like this is something that we haven't brought up yet, and I'm surprised we haven't brought it up yet. Is the runner xenomorphs, when they don't come out, they don't have a chest burster stay.
No, they are just properly like fully formed, almost fully formed.
Yeah. Now, obviously, they can grow bigger, obviously, and they do molt, which is what this guy's stepping on. But like, I think that is why. Again, I talked about it repeatedly. There's no ecosystem where something like the xenomorph can exist with another life form.
Yeah, because it is pretty, again, as we said, it no matter where you send it, it is going to be the dominant life form.
Yeah, and because of its life cycle, and because of how seemingly innately vicious they are, like they will just completely devastate any ecosystem that they end up in, which is why I have to refuse that they are completely naturally occurring. They were a naturally occurrence of evolution. Now again, we got the lady in the dark from that was introduced in the comic book series. So, and again, like the constant reference that they are biomechanical. So, like again, besides from I think I'm really glad that Ridley Scott was adamant, like, okay, these are not naturally occurring creatures.
No,
something created them. Some they were let loose, like, unfortunately, and like I'm glad that was always the clear intention. Now again, the one I've always said it, and I've said it to you repeatedly. The only thing I hated about Prometheus, personally, was the attachment of the xenomorph's creation to an android. Now I understand where he was coming from, and the idea that only an android would think, who would be jealous of humans, with their with partially their organic, with some of the advantages of being organic comes with, but also knowing that, like, okay, well, being biomechanical, being mechanical, there is some fucking advantages there. I could see how an android, a synthetic, who then gets it twisted in his mechanical brain. Like, what if we had the benefits of both worlds, and then finding some alien stuff, and then eventually creating xenomorphs. I can see where he was coming from in that. Again, though, but for the fact of it being a human android, that's where I was like, no. If it was some kind of maybe alien race that was that was highly advanced with mechanical stuff, then yes, sure. Now eventually he did change it. That is clearly the case. But like the attempt of it being like this being the origin of the xenomorphs, I was like, yeah, no. Yeah. And so, because like again, we're now getting a sense of what happens when a xenomorph when a facehugger impregnates a quadruped. So things. Now this is why I'm bringing up the whole evolution thing, is because with the quadruped, with the xenomorph in such an early state, being like that fully grown from a quadruped, like that is fucking dangerous. Like that thing will fuck up ecosystems so fucking rapidly.
Yeah.
Because like at least with the fucking chest bursters, you have like a couple of hours where they're vulnerable, and again like that, whereas they could have potentially maybe their own natural predator that feeds on the offspring, like potentially the offspring of xenomorphs. Like it waits for those moments, but we know that the chest burster only really seems to happen from humans, which I'm going to assume from sentient life form. Actually, no, because you could theoretically have quadruped. Yeah, okay, what's the term for two-legged? I know quadruped
bipedal.
Is bipedal. So okay, we know a chest burster results from a bipedal. We know a runner is the result of a quadruped. Now, obviously, their varying intelligence most likely is determined by what type of life form. I imagine if you had like an ostrich get impregnated by. Actually, that's an avian. That's an avian. So I imagine it would be a whole different type of xenomorph. I need to think of a. Okay, if you had a xenomorph impregnate a monkey, something or an ape, something that can be, but that is vaguely bipedal.
Yeah.
Maybe we would get a dumbed down drone. You know, that's on two legs.
Yeah.
So like I can imagine I can imagine there being an intelligent runner if it was to impregnate like a sentient quadruped. I'm trying to think of one now. Don't know when I can. Oh wait, sorry, Star Wars. I'm trying. I have Star Wars and Mass Effect in my head, trying to think of a intelligent quadruped. But I'm only thinking of really two species: the Elcor from Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And fucking the Dud from Star Wars, Sebulba's species. Oh no, Doug, not Dud. It's Doug. They're called Dugs. Because I can't think of any other quadruped in Star Wars that's sentient.
Yeah. I'm struggling myself right now.
Yeah, because every other alien species in Star Wars is bipedal. Now that's because of this. Oh.
Sorry, go back to Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
Hanar.
They're okay, no, they're floating tentacles, man.
I mean, they've got more than one leg.
Fair enough, but they're not supported by their tentacles, I don't think.
Fine.
Oh my god, imagine actually, no, could a Hanar be fucking impregnated by a facehugger?
That is actually a very interesting question.
Like an elk. Oh god, I can imagine a Elcor face. Like that would be a brew. That's easily a xenomorph brew.
Oh yeah, no, that would definitely be the heavy hitter.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, so the runner eventually takes out. Now, I have Alien 3 because like I did with the last movie, I decided to actually have the movie muted and playing as we're talking about certain scenes.
Yeah.
So that way I can actually see like certain things, so I know for a fact. So we're at the bit where he is now going to look into a crate, and I want to see if it. I'm going to try and see if it was like what exactly happened that got the acid in his face.
Yeah, I that's what I thought it was, because he's kind of screaming in pain.
Yeah. Some hits him in the face.
Yeah. I also, if you notice as well, it looks like the runner is like surrounded by some kind of like resin thing that it would put out, like almost all similar to a nest, but almost like another kind of sac thing that it's coming out of. Like it's just finishing its molting process, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it definitely was. I think it literally chucked. I think the acid, like it looked like it chucked something. It wasn't so much of a spin, because like its face is covered like in like what you would expect a snake and a reptile to look like when they molt.
Yeah.
So I think Because again, I'm hesitant to say it spat the acid because of the fact that because we never see it do anything like that again throughout the movie. But maybe whatever it was doing to make its little nest, because like maybe it was setting up a nest potentially for itself and the queen. Because again, you said it. You said it was confirmed that it was a warrior. It's of the warrior caste.
Well, no, I was just saying that was what the royal facehugger was going to be doing. Yeah. Well, so technically, if we're going by the assembly cut, yes, it's.
I'm going to go by the assembly cut.
Yeah.
So the warrior is clearly like getting ready for the queen, because again, it's already been established that the Xenomorphs have a hive mind. Already from like this movie and the two other movies, and then we got the comics that like even further fucking exemplify this.
Again, they go into it deeper. Yeah,
with the Lady in the Dark. Which, again, I want a movie that I want a proper comic book series. I would gladly buy that comic book series that explores that properly, and I would even accept a movie. I want either. I want more. I want. The Lady in the Dark. I want more of the Lady in the Dark.
We're getting an Alien TV show on Hulu. Maybe that takes place before Alien, so maybe we'll get that. We'll see something.
Yeah. But anyway, so the Xenomorph, like that warrior, is clearly setting up some kind of nest. Maybe through the resin or whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
Because we don't even know what that resin actually is and all. Like maybe the resin maybe it does something with its acids.
Yeah, I know. What's it called? So remember I brought up in the last video the Alien River of Pain, the audio drama that focuses on LV-426. So there's a scene in it where Ripley is actually having one of her therapy sessions, and she's just going over what happened to the Nostromo, to the therapist and stuff like that. And the therapist questions, well, you said this thing latched onto Kane's face, but he had his helmet on, so how could it have done this if he was surrounded by glass? And she just goes, I don't know. It secreted resin. Maybe it can control the acid it secretes as well. So they're almost in a way, they're almost maybe trying to give some form of explanation without going too much into it. Like, okay, maybe it's this. So from that, I'm going to assume maybe, your theory is kind of on the mark, where maybe the resin can have an acidic value to it.
Yeah,
because they want it to.
Like maybe initially when it's excreted or whatever, it is highly acidic, but then it hardens.
Well, yeah, because didn't they say in I can't, is it Bishop that says it or Ash that says it, that the acid actually does kind of, once it hits oxygen, it very quickly becomes not as lethal. It oxidizes or something like that.
Yeah. So maybe what they do is they use the acid in their blood to melt materials around them, and because their bodies are clearly resistant to acid, they would then actually shape it into what they're like, the desired shape. Like maybe that's the thing, the process.
That's possible, yeah.
Now I don't know what fucking process goes into turning like organic material into fucking the eggs, but that just speaks to the fucking Lady in the Dark and this whole eldritch fucking shit. That's going on with that, like, because again, like, the Lady in the Dark fucking suggests that the fucking hive mind can span fucking star systems.
Yeah, it's almost dangerously OP, but given the Lovecraftian nature of the idea as well, I'm kind of willing to accept it.
Yeah, like maybe, like, I feel like she's so far she's like semi like a Cthulhu figure, because again, because again, this is a guy describing a scene that like a vision he had from a surgery he was getting done to him to remove a chest burster.
Yeah.
And because there's definitely an exchange of fucking DNA. The Ripley clone proves it. Sorry, the Ripley clones, I should say, plural. The Xenomorph clone that we get in Resurrection definitely are an example of that. But the fact that the xenomorphs take on properties of obviously their host is also a big example of proving that there is definitely an exchange of DNA. The thing is, we never seen a human survive the process. So this guy was who survived it. Like, there was a like, again, he's describing a vision. He's describing this fucking weird ass entity. I showed a picture of it in the Alien movie. She is creepy as fuck.
She fucking is.
And just the way, because again, the way the artist, now this isn't a comic book series, so the way the artist drew her is fantastic. She's surrounded by folks. Look up The Lady in the Dark. It's a fantastic picture. She is just this weird, clearly xenomorph connected entity, surrounded by drones, face huggers, this weird snake thing from Prometheus, clearly in some kind of hive nest, because like the cave, whatever, has all the telltale signs that it's a hive. But the way they drew her is, it's like clearly the guy's describing it as if she was looking at him, but because we are looking at it from his perspective, she is looking at us. It is the detail on the eyes is what really sells it. So yeah. Either way, xenomorphs fucking dangerous. From the runners being fully grown, like, they're just again, it's why my interest in the Alien franchise, like, is all about the lore. But my own mother mistakes it for a huge interest in horror movies.
I remember you saying,
she came home from Vegas with a fucking Jason versus Freddy t-shirt, and I'm like, I have only ever saw fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. Never saw any movie involving Jason. Don't really watch that many horror movies except for Alien.
Oh god.
But anyway, so that guy is quickly killed by most likely the resin.
And he kind of rolls all the way into the big giant fan.
Which is great, because it continues the mystery and from the perspective of the prisoners and everyone at the prison.
Because the warden and Andrews, I think, is the name of the warden, and then his second in command, I think he has a name, but the prisoners call him 85
because
and
his IQ.
the reason, his IQ, which I fucking love the reveal of that. It's just so good. But he's, and again, actually, despite the fact he's not the smartest of the group, still a good character. Like, he still had a pretty decent conscience to him. Like, he was actually
he was very much wanting to try and help out, but unfortunately though, his selfish desire to get home to his wife and kid, which you can't really fault him.
Yeah, no, it is kind of a good conflict with the character. Like, he gets it, this is dangerous, he understands Ripley's position, but he's like, no, I have my own interests to think about. I'm sorry.
And he truly believes Weyland-Yutani will, look out for them.
Yeah, like, he's fully like a company man. He's like, no, they have our backs, they will always have our backs, they wouldn't just let us die. Even after Ripley explains towards the end of the film, look, the first time they heard about this thing, it was crew expendable, then it was Marines. They're not going to give a shit about a bunch of lifers that found God at the ass end of space, which is my favorite line. One of my favorite lines that she delivers.
But because of him falling into the fan, his body's all chopped up.
Yeah, and so they think it's an accident.
Which we then get to the scene now you were bringing up earlier. It turns out Ripley slept with the doctor.
Yeah, Clemens, and this is, to be fair, this is where she sees the barcode. Better ways for you to show that he was a prisoner. But yeah, it's the thing of like, so at least with the Hicks Ripley thing, there were some interactions between the two of them, and then they didn't really take it beyond. Something might happen, something might not happen. We'll never know. It was literally just.
I'm going to defend it.
Okay. I can't wait to hear this.
Again, because even the doctor brings it up. He's like, I know why you did this to avoid answering my questions. So like
in the nicest possible way, of course.
yeah. So like again, him given his situation, he's not going to refuse. Like in his position, like okay, yeah, he wants answers. Yeah, he knows. Okay, you're just trying to seduce me, so yeah, you don't have to answer my question. But I have not I've not been with a woman in fucking who knows how long. So like he lets her, and from her perspective, like I don't like. I think they like. I think they like each other. Obviously, on a maybe on a purely physical thing. I don't think there's any actual romantic relationship. I from what I'm seeing, like from what I gathered from Ripley throughout this movie, was she purely only slept with him just to try and get out of answering his questions. Now, unfortunately, as we probably established, this guy is smart. Like it was only due to his drug addiction and him being and because of his drug addiction, him fucking up. What was it?
He prescribed the wrong dosage of painkiller for a car crash.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why he's there.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with his intelligence or like incompetence. It was purely just due to an addiction making him fucking high and
yeah. And again, testament to just Charles Dance as an actor when it comes to his reveal of why he has the barcode and to explaining it all to Ripley. It's such a really well acted scene. Like he performs this, he plays the role of like this very guilt ridden, yet looking for redemption doctor really well. And it's just a shame that they didn't really do much else with this character once the alien is kind of introduced as the antagonist for the rest of the film. Then, because like up until the alien actually is born, like he's a very active character, like for Ripley in the film. And he's pointing her in the direction to find Bishop's remains.
So hold on, I'm having some technical issues here with my headphones. I can't really hear you.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Hold on. I need new headphones. My mom has been laughing at me because she keeps saying that I have like little flakes of black in my hair or on my neck.
Oh,
from my headphones.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, only one side of my headphones works.
Oh, that annoys me. That always gets me.
And the volume was dipping on you. I meant to hire you up. I did via Discord. I really do need fucking new headphones.
Hold on a second. I'm just going to pause for a second because my dog has seen another dog and she's going a bit crazy now. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh.
Alright, so
yeah. So we were at the
the scene. So again, me defending. So like again, I don't think there's any romantic feelings like sort of there, because like it would be a disservice to her character if there was, due to the fact of the whole Higgins thing. Like,
yeah, all right. You know what? I will say this. You convinced me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually didn't kind of think of it like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, she immediately starts asking about like, what did he do as a prisoner? He explains to her, as we said, he fucked because he was probably high. He fucked up, tells the prescription for the amount of dosage of painkiller.
Yeah, and it just kind of killed off the victims of the accident, and so he was given and I do kind of like that. Again, a good way to like just show us the content of his character. He thinks he got off lightly. Mm-hmm. Like he thinks he wasn't punished enough for what he did.
Oh yeah, like again because he's a doctor, like so he like there is still that sense, like despite the fact that he knows like okay maybe I fucked up by getting high, but like I'm a doctor, my job is to save lives, not be the cause of the mending.
Yeah, and it's again well acted scene from Charles Dance, just of. Really, again, it just makes me think they kind of wasted his character then after that, which we'll get to. But But yeah, no. Before that, we had the sex scene. He's called out to the what's it the crime scene.
Yeah,
basically.
We've
And he's
already
the only
pretty
one
much
that
gone over
notices
it.
and he's the only one that notices the acid mark.
Yeah.
And
so
this is where we get from Andrews. Then the warden. He's just like he's like, oh, I want to see you in my office as soon as you can. And before that, we get the scene before he goes to the office. He informs Ripley, basically about where to find Bishop. Basically,
Yeah.
because Ripley has taken the flight recorder from the EEV, so now she needs a computer to basically play it. So.
But he's also pretty much like, okay, I want fucking answers.
Yeah. So she's like, all right, if you want to help me, if you want answers, help me find a way to get access to this flight recorder. So it's like, okay, Bishop will help. If you want your android, he'll be in this area. I can't go with you, so just remember that. And then he goes off to talk to the warden. Then.
Because he says he's already in a lot of hot water because of I think just because his general interactions with her.
Yeah, he's already like not on good terms. I already got the feeling he wasn't on good terms with the warden. From the start of the film. But their interaction next, because immediately the next scene between him and the warden is literally, "You listen to me, you piece of shit." He really does. But this is where we get the information from the warden that the company has specified particularly that they want Ripley protected at all costs. Like she is high value. She is to
which suggests that they have made contact with the ship, and because we saw in the opening credits that the ship did scan, and there was even a scan of Ripley's face with a facehugger on it.
Yeah. Though at the time we're meant to think it's just it is meant to be nuked.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as we see the autopsy scene, I think people can put two and two together.
Yeah. So that's why like the company getting to the ship, seeing that, being like, oh, okay, we need to find where the fuck she is. Then they get a report from the prison where like, oh yeah, we have a Lieutenant Ripley here, and they're like, oh, keep her fucking there.
Quick, we have to go. No, it doesn't matter. Leave the kettle on. Let's go.
Yeah, because they get there so fucking quickly.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any time skips. Like there must at most she's there like what a few days.
Yeah, she's definitely there a while.
Okay,
because what was it they did say at the start when Andrews is giving the speech? He's saying, "Oh yeah, that we've contacted the company. They're going to be sending a rescue ship." Oh no, they don't give a time frame. They just say ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do know the film
because she wakes up. Then obviously there's the funeral. Then she gets her hair cut.
Yeah.
Oh no! Sorry, no. So because she wakes up, sees the bodies, then sees the ship, sees the bodies, has the funeral, gets a haircut. So
makes Yoo-hoo with the doctor.
Yeah. So bare minimum 2.
It's at the very least, I would say almost a week. I would.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because quite possibly, when they're setting the trap for the alien, like they do kind of a montage thing. It's entirely possible that might have taken a day or two to fully
set up. Yeah.
Set up.
No, okay, no, I mean not 2 days. I feel like 1 day because like the xenomorph not attacking for 2 days.
Yeah, no, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
So at the very least a day. So because I do know that the film itself chronologically takes place 2 weeks after the events of Aliens.
Right.
So they've only been flying on the Sulaco for 2 weeks before the EEV crashes on.
And we know how long. How long did it take them to get to? Oh, it takes them 2 weeks to get to. Hold on, it takes them generally 2 weeks to get to. That planet, because remember, like when Ripley asked, like, how long do we have to survive for?
Yeah, well, we were trying to figure out, how long till we're overdue. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the ship. The only thing explanation I could think of is maybe the ship, the other ship, was on its way to rendezvous with the Sulaco anyway. Maybe. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, so
because like it's definitely clear that definitely clear that the warden sends the communications to the company straight away.
I'm gonna say I think I might know the explanation, and because I think I blocked it out of my head because it was that stupid. So you're familiar with the video game Aliens: Colonial Marines, yeah?
Not really, no.
Okay. It was made by not Rebellion. It was made by Sega and I think the Borderlands studio.
Oh, okay.
It is
THQ.
I think it's THQ. Yeah, it is the biggest piece of shit video game I have ever had the misfortune of playing, and so there's a DLC in the game called Stasis Interrupted, and in it you play as Hicks, who wakes up from cryo because it turns out that the Sulaco was intercepted by a Weyland-Yutani ship that took facehuggers from LV-426 and began using the complement, the crew complement of the ship they were on to experiment with Xenos. Some of the Xenos got out when they made contact with the Sulaco, and that's where the facehugger that got onto Ripley came from. And Hicks actually isn't dead. It was actually someone else that died. That just took his place inside the cryo chamber by accident during a scuffle with Weyland-Yutani goons. And so basically, I think the idea is the ship that arrives quickly enough to Fury 161 is that same ship that was experimenting on the Xenos in that DLC. I think that because Aliens: Colonial Marines, it's canon. Like it's sad.
So okay, so that means Hicks actually is alive then.
Yeah, I mean that's the only good thing to come out of it. But it's such a horribly written story that I don't think many fans count it. If you get me, like it's just that bad of a game. Because the DLC, I'll give them credit. They try to explain it. Because I can't believe I forgot this because it was so bad when I watched it for the first time that when I saw it for the first time that all I could think of was I'm just going to actively ignore this and for the rest of my life. And as it turns out, I did.
So so basically, Colonial Marines happens.
Yep.
A group boards the Sulaco, wakes Hicks up.
Well, Hicks isn't woken up. Hicks is woken up by two people who were being held prisoner by Weyland-Yutani to be experimented on by the facehuggers and stuff like that.
Right. So instead of waking up as Ripley and Newt and whatnot, he's like, okay, I'll help you out real quick.
No. So sorry. At this point, the ship is already like almost destroyed. The Sulaco, basically the aliens on board cause
so he's in a rush. So he's in a rush. Okay.
Basically, he doesn't have time because as he's waking up, the EEV is being separated. Like the cryo chambers are being put into the EEV. He only gets a glimpse of Ripley with the facehugger on, and that's it.
Okay. That must have been horrifying for him.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on for a sec. Hold on. But yeah. So. Yeah, Colonial Marines tries to explain it. It was such a
it
was just some random no-name extra that gets thrown in during a scuffle with Wei-Yu people,
and they just and because
and he just happens to have the same bandages that Hicks has.
Right, and the cryopod was already programmed for Hicks, so that's why when the prisoner scanned it or checked any kind of log, it came up as Hicks.
Yeah. So it's like they try to fix the problems that Alien 3 had, but in doing so, I think they just made it worse. Yeah. And so a lot of people just don't count.
Well,
Pony
unfortunately,
Brain.
for the purposes of our discussions, we have to take into consideration.
Oh god, fair enough. It doesn't change the fact that I still hate the opening of the film.
Yeah, no. See, because again,
Because keep in mind, the movie was made before this.
Yeah. So again, it's the same issue as we had with, as I said, I have with Halo Infinite, is the fact that like there's so much shit that relies on, like, to know about the new faction that we're fighting, you need to play Halo Wars 2.
Yeah.
To know what the fuck happens involving Cortana, you need to read a novel. There is, like, which is not normally how the Halo franchise did the storytelling in their when it came to their video games. The novels were just for extra lore, for extra battles of the chief and whatnot. It was never meant to fill in the gaps between the video games.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, we have a movie version of this, clearly, where you're more reliant on a video game
that wasn't even released yet.
Yeah, that wasn't even released yet. So, unfortunately, lore-wise, okay, things are better now. It makes... in my mind, it's going to make rewatching, if I ever rewatch Alien 3, which I'll probably will at some point, it will make that opening sequence a little more tolerable.
See, that's the thing, because for me, like, I'm just gonna have to, for this one in particular, I would just have to judge it as they wrote it, like as the film back in the 90s when the film came out, because it's still why didn't the Sulaco wake them up?
Yeah.
It's still
no.
Yeah.
No. Don't get me wrong. Judging, okay, if we were to just judge this purely based on the movie, it is still so fucking terrible.
Yeah, but again, even with the game, I feel it still doesn't help.
Oh yeah, it's clearly shoehorned in.
It is, especially when you take into account that when this game came out, Randy Pitchford and all the people who were working on the game for this game when it was coming out for the 360 and all that, they were actually saying this game's going to ignore Alien 3. As far as this game is concerned, Alien 3 never happened. And then they bring out a DLC that not only acknowledges Alien 3, but actually ends with Hicks seeing Ripley fall into the furnace. So canonically, he was on Fury 161 at the end of the film as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Probably thinking like, okay, I'm gonna save her. Don't worry, I'm coming. And
okay, fuck. Yeah, it's
that's gonna make this. That makes the fucking ending of the movie sadder. Oh my god.
If anything, I just think it's just one of those things where they just tried to solve a problem that didn't need solving.
Yeah, you didn't need him there being too late.
I didn't need him there, period.
Yeah. Actually, chances are he was a prisoner. Like
he was there, like, guns blazing, apparently.
Dude.
Yeah.
That makes, like, okay, movie wise, he didn't need to be there.
No.
But like in terms of fucking story, like, see, this is the thing about the fucking Alien franchise. Like they don't just leave happy endings.
Yeah, well, since Alien 3, they don't.
Like, since from the moment of Alien 3 hits cinemas, like they're just like, yeah, you know, the idea of like happy endings and whatnot. That's not.
Yeah, fuck that. And then people didn't like that. It's like, okay, so yeah, we're gonna do Alien Resurrection now. I know, we killed Ripley, but there's a very, very perfectly reasonable, believable explanation for that. Why are you leaving? Come back. But yeah, we're going to give you a happy ending of sorts, and it's just a. They should have stopped it at the second film. I'm sorry.
No, they really should have. But again, though, like, actually no, because the comics were in full swing. So like, yeah, they could have just ended it with the second movie. In terms of the movies, ended with the second one.
Yeah.
And then
they just have to. I think the Alien films should just do what the comics do. Just do like an anthology thing. You know, like different people encountering the aliens and how they deal with them and stuff like that, while also kind of making it interesting lore-wise.
Like, again, you don't want the Resident Evil effect.
No,
where you are heavily reliant on one actress.
Yeah, it's. I think. Yeah, Alien definitely could work from now on as just a. Oh yeah, we're going to be introducing different characters and their experience with Alien. It could work, and Resident Evil does that with the games. So
Yeah. No, with the movies they didn't.
They didn't.
That's what I was meaning by my
No,
comment.
no. Oh no, I got what you meant there. Yeah, I was just pointing out as well that the games actually knew this better than the film did. Anyway,
we're. I think we should wrap it up there because we are reaching our 2.5 hour mark.
Oh God, yeah, okay.
And so we're gonna have to continue this next time. So we'll probably need to rewatch the end of this video in 2 weeks
just to remember where we left off.
Where we left off. So we left off because like the funny thing is the Xenomorph has not even started properly plaguing. The prison.
We've just gone over. Okay, I still think right now for this entire 2 hours 25 minutes so far, my favorite thing has just been your reaction to Sigourney Weaver's conditions. I just wasn't expecting it. I'm sorry. No, wait, what?
So okay, I'm gonna put. Here's a funny thing, folks. In terms of just talking about the movie, this movie is 2 hours long.
Felt shorter, I will say.
Yeah, we are only at minute 40.
Yeah, though again, because I will say we are kind of going through it faster than we did. With
yeah.
I will say.
Yeah.
We're keeping it on track for the most part with a few little things added in.
But yeah, no, I honestly feel like we did a good job. We were more focused on certain scenes. We did lose 20 minutes, however, due to the whole Sigourney Weaver conditions thing. But hey,
I make no apologies.
Like, oh my god, just wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, I've been the Celtic Nerd.
I've been SkullDuggery.
One name,
one sky.